Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are hitting the mental gym. We're going to be using Massimo Pigliucci and Gregory Lopez's fantastic manual, A Handbook for New Stoics, to build a genuine, sweat-inducing mental training regimen. If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by the friction of daily life, well, you are absolutely in the right place.
Let's get started.
Okay, let's dive into this workout plan. Today, we're covering myth versus modern stoicism, the dichotomy of control, the 3 Stoic disciplines, your weekly Stoic exercises, and we'll wrap up with the nightly review habit. Section 1. Myth versus modern stoicism. Before we start lifting any mental weights, we really need to unlearn a massive cultural misconception.
Now, what's really interesting here is the difference between little s stoicism and capital S stoicism. We tend to think of the little s version, the stiff upper lip, completely suppressing your emotions, being totally Spock-like and just enduring pain without a single complaint. But real capital S stoicism, it's completely different. It's fundamentally pro-social. It's about cooperative, reasonable living. The ancient Stoics actually saw themselves as cosmopolitans, basically citizens of the world, deeply and meaningfully connected to other human beings.
As author Massimo Pigliucci puts it, Stoicism is an ancient pragmatic philosophy that teaches us to step back, gain perspective, and act with intention. The goal here isn't to become a doormat who just silently accepts bad things. No way. It's to act deliberately, to achieve what the Greeks called eudaimonia, a life truly, genuinely worth living.
Moving right along to Section 2, the dichotomy of control.
Dating all the way back to the ancient philosopher Epictetus, this is the absolute foundational rule of the Stoic Mental Gym. The dichotomy of control divides the world into 2 very distinct buckets. Things we can control, like our reactions and intentions, and things we literally cannot control, like external events and outcomes. While we are highly social, intelligent creatures capable of reason, we absolutely must recognize the limits of our own agency. Because honestly, if we don't, we're just engineering our own misery.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how this plays out in our everyday lives. Think about the things that are entirely up to us. Our thoughts, our will, our preparation. That's our domain. But then think about your reputation, your property, or other people's actions. Completely not up to us. Let's look at some mundane modern stressors. Got a job interview? Your preparation is up to you. Whether they actually hire you is not. Stuck in gridlock traffic? Not up to you. What about a terrible haircut that looks way more mullet than bob? Yeah, also not up to you once the scissors have done their work. So I want you to treat this question right here, is this up to me or not up to me, as your rhythmic anchor. It's a mantra. Whenever frustration bubbles up today, just pause and ask yourself this. By doing so, you're conserving your precious emotional energy for what actually matters, instead of burning it out on things you simply cannot change. Let's jump into Section 3, the 3 Stoic disciplines.
This right here is the core workout of our explainer. It's Epictetus' 3-step ancient curriculum that actually structures the entire 52-week program found in the book. But before we break them down, remember this absolutely crucial concept. You don't get muscles by just understanding how lifting works, right? You get them by actually practicing it. Philosophy is not just a clever life hack or some interesting theory to read about on the couch. It is a daily practice that requires real, sustained mental sweat.
Let's move to and see how this builds step by step. Epictetus gives us a sequential program. First up, the discipline of desire, which is all about aligning our values and focusing our desires only on what is in our control. Second, the discipline of action, which trains us to act thoughtfully and virtuously in the world alongside other people. And finally, the discipline of assent, where we literally train ourselves to pause and assess our split-second judgments before reacting. So that's desire, action, and assent.
Now for the really practical part. Section 4, your weekly Stoic exercises.
I am so incredibly excited about this part because this is where ancient theory hits the pavement of modern life. Let me ask you directly, how do you currently handle a cracked phone screen, a pet fish suddenly dying, or a deeply, deeply frustrating coworker? Because we all face these things, right? And Stoicism is built exactly for this kind of mundane, modern adversity. It is not just for emperors facing plagues, it is for you facing a rough Monday. This is a fantastic snapshot of how the book's 52-week regimen actually flows. Every single week trains a very specific mental muscle against daily friction. Take week 6, you premeditate adversity. That means actively preparing yourself for your neighbor's dog barking before it even happens. In week 13, you practice minimalism by tossing out old coats you just don't need anymore.
Week 15 tackles impermanence, which is absolutely perfect for coping with that cracked phone screen we talked about. And by week 22, you're training to roll with insults, actually learning to disarm workplace criticism with absolute calm.
So the crucial point here is that frequently reminding yourself of the impermanence of things can act as a literal vaccine against the sting of loss. In week 15's exercise, you sit down, make a list of impermanent things in your life, and rank them from 1 to 10 based on how hard it would be to lose them. By reminding yourself daily of their temporary nature, starting with the easiest stuff first, you are literally giving your mind a psychological vaccine against future grief. It's brilliant.
But hey, it's not always easy. Take week 10, act the opposite. The exercise asks you to consciously counter your cravings with the exact opposite actions. In one of the sources we looked at, a practitioner tried skipping their beloved midday snack to build up discipline, and they admitted they just got really grumpy at work. Actually, Stoicism isn't an overnight life hack. It isn't a quick fix of pleasure. It's a slow-release pill of self-betterment. And yeah, sometimes it kind of stings at first as you build those mental muscles.
Let's move into our final phase, Section 5, the nightly review habit. If those daytime exercises are your heavy workout, this is your essential nightly cooldown. It's how you track your progress and consolidate all of your day's hard training. The Stoics relied heavily on philosophical journaling, but it is absolutely crucial to understand that this is a tool for ethical self-improvement, not a standard diary of events. Think of Marcus Aurelius's famous meditations. It's not about writing down, "Oh, I had a great sandwich today." It's about objectively, almost scientifically, analyzing specific incidents from your day without emotional language, just to see how your mind reacted. Epictetus suggested an incredibly powerful yet simple evening reflection using just 3 questions. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? And what should I work on next time? Now hear me clearly on this. The Stoics demand that you forgive yourself. This is definitely not about harsh self-flagellation or beating yourself up over past errors. The past is done. You take the data, you learn the lesson, and you let the guilt go.
The great Roman Stoic Seneca hit the nail on the head when he said, "A prepared mind handles difficulties, handles delicate situations much better." The entire point of the nightly review is preparation. By reviewing today's mistakes with a cool, clear head, you're literally pre-programming your brain to be resilient and completely ready for tomorrow's identical challenges.
As we've seen today, Stoicism is a lifelong mental gym. It takes reps, it takes patience, and it absolutely takes practice. So I'll leave you with this provocative question to chew on. What mental weight are you going to lift tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time as we continue building that mental resilience.